Good evening, welcome to Division 4 here at the Italy or Italian Grand Prix, as I should probably have said. Tonight we have a sprint race, short qualifying and a 50% race, as always. I'm definitely not a co tonight. I am your streamer, Music Rocker 73, as that's what I'm known as, or Rocket. And tonight I have a very special co-commentator tonight. I've not really spoken to you much, Evo, but how's it going?
Oh. Hello everyone. Yeah, not too bad. Glad to be back in the comms box.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it the first one with me, yeah?
First one with you, yes. Third one in total.
How did your other ones go?
Yeah, it was good. Good learning curve. Starting to get a bit more confidence. So let's hope for a good quality sprint race tonight.
Yes, I have already commentated something already this week, so this is my second commentary. That's how it goes sometimes. And for some reason I have a random Mother's Day card on the floor. Anyway, always finding random stuff in my house, it's great. How long ago was Mother's Day? I feel like it was ages ago, wasn't
it? 2 or 3 weekends ago.
2
weekends?
Yeah. I guess they're on the floor just to perish. Yeah. So, what I can tell you tonight is what to expect is every single week so far at Division 4 of late, like maybe last 2-3 weekends, we've had a lap 1, turn 1 pile up every goddamn time. Do things change? No, not really. So we can expect the same here at Monza, probably for both races. Hello, Demonic Angel in the chat. Good evening. That is Quick Mix Sister. Good to see you back. It's been a while actually since we've seen Charismatic Sister, because I think Charismatic Sister, Quick Mix. Oh, I am not speaking English right tonight. Yeah, sorry, Quick Mix. I just gave away your sister to Charismatic. That happens. Yeah, Div 4, we're very organised, especially tonight. I definitely didn't invite you and we're already here. No, definitely spoke to you beforehand. Oh, god damn it. But if it makes you feel any better, standings haven't been updated since since Portugal, and Hungary happened last week. So standings ain't even updated either. So you know what, that makes me feel a bit better.
Oh, fun.
Do we have a stewards report at least? Oh, we do have the stewards report. Oh, it was quite a long one as well. Yeah, Rizzo got barely anything for a penalty that took out half the field, so it's good stewarding there. In other news, we had Richie Clates having an issue. It was lag. That happens. Lag is something we deal with. Another racing incident. Destroyer Dano. Another racing incident. Right, we have one penalty given out last week, which is pretty good for Div 4 concerns. They're getting better at it. Mainly all just racing instances and stuff. Also, Championship is really good, or was. I have no idea where we're at because I wasn't here at Hungary. But, yeah, Clates, Tree, and Tobble, they're your top 3, and those 3 are amazing. And also Marshy, late Championship charge from him. We can expect that more in the sprint, so that's something else you can expect. Weather looks so decent, doesn't it? Oh, and Tree disconnected.
It's a good one so far. Nice and sunny.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly just, as we do, is just check the settings. Even though we're already in the session, I just want to check that it's actually, the right weather. Oh, it is. Yeah, I just feel like it's a lot. I don't know what the word is. It just feels like it's evening, Doesn't feel like it's... Okay.
It might
Everything
just be
else is right.
It's slightly overcast.
Oh dear.
That light cloud type of one.
There's always something in the settings that's incorrect. They're probably going to want to restart after qualifying tonight. Just figured out that damage is incorrect.
Damage is on 0, is it?
No, it's reduced and reduced. It should be reduced and standard. I'm going to quickly message the head of That's well, I would message. I'm just gonna message one of the guys. Wait to restart after quali. Anyone? Okay, Dano's in chat as well. Hopefully audio's right, because we've had a few audio problems. Well, I had a few other audio problems last time I did some streaming.
Sounds all good to me.
Yes, I'm just waiting on a reply back. Problem is, the person I just messaged about it isn't exactly on talking terms with me, so he might not reply. In which case... This is a bit of an annoying start, isn't it? Eddie's on a lap, by the way. Eddie is, well, used to be one of the reserves, recently taken over a full-time seat. He's very much one to watch. He's a quick one, but very young quick. So he's very inexperienced when it comes to racecraft. So always goes for very interesting overtakes, etc. So he will be one to watch.
Took turn 1 and 2 quite nicely, just flipping the curves just the right amount.
Yes, perfection is definitely something we, well, I would say expect, but because he's young, I don't think perfection's really something you go for when you're young. You're more ambitious into every corner, aren't you? But he's doing well so far.
Yeah. Nice and tidy lap, not really pushing the limit too much.
Yeah. As he heads towards the Scari, braking as late stairs and invalidates. We're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah. The Scari is definitely one to watch the most on this track, the track invalidations. That or the Lesmo 2, I think.
Yeah, I saw a lot of crashes actually in Division 2 at Lesmo 1. I used to call it Lesmo, and I'm trying to get out of that habit. Oh, Rizzo's left. Oh dear. It's not going well for Alfa Romeo at the moment. Oh, and my mic is playing up as well. Jix at 120.3. I don't know what the lap times we are expecting around here, but maybe a little bit quicker than that. I think it was low 18s, I think, with Div 2, so maybe we're already about that here. Or was it low 19s? I can't remember.
I guess low 19s with Div 2. So I think Div 1 was mid 18s.
Okay. Just something that we can expect going forward, sir. Let's go Blazer. I'm in with Charismatic. I'm confused as to what that means from Dano. I'm in with Charismatic. What could that actually mean?
Might be engineer.
But he's racing as well. They're P8, P10 respectively at the moment. They both haven't set a lap time though. 25.2 from Teddis is the worst lap time so far. I'm going to guess he made a mistake or didn't push on that lap. Tree to line. It's going to be a 120.7, puts him 3-2. That means that, you know, Jix's first lap must have been absolutely flying for the fact that no one's got close to it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind, Clates does a 20.4. We'll say though, in qualifying, Clates is one to watch. He's very much up there. I don't know. I don't recognise Jix, I don't know why. Scotty went P6, Mighty goes P7. Dano is now on our lap, so we'll keep an eye on Dano and the Williams. Still have had nothing about that restart. Okay. I will try and... Ah, just me talking about the standings. They just got updated by Muddy Biscuit. You must have been listening. So, oh, what is going on my headset? Hold on, back in a sec.
Hello, I'm still new to this.
Right, I'm back.
Just,
Sorry about that.
no worries, we just crossed the line now. Was it Ferrari?
Yes. For Ariane and Alpine.
That would be Ted first, which was improved his time to 21-1.
Look at Dano. P3 now.
Yeah, Dano P3 with 20.6. Yeah.
We usually expect both Mercedes to bottle it at some point, so just keep an eye on that as well. They both usually end up last at some point in a race weekend. Richie just starting a lap. You don't know Richie very well. Oh, he's kept his ERS off.
Richie Chappelle.
Yeah.
I do know him.
He's another very interesting driver. Goes for very interesting overtakes. Charisma's teammate is on ERS.
He races in another league that I race in, as well as Pazuzu if he's in here as well.
Millsy is... Yes, he's P17 at the minute in the Haas. Just starting a lap, actually, is him.
Oh, Chappelle's lost the substitution game.
I've not...
done by catching that curve.
Yeah, it's easy done though. I haven't seen that all weekend. Well, from any driver. That's actually the first spin I've seen there.
There's quite a few people which I raced on the Division 1 for a bit. I raced Division 1 Sunday. There was a few of us which actually had crashed the rear quite a few times.
Yeah, I'm just putting something in the chat at the moment about...
So, what we've got...
Or is it right?
There's Mick coming through now. 20.6. Nearly matching Dano on exact lap times. Got
Yep.
Max Pazuzu.
Mushy, P3.
2. Yep.
So yeah, everyone kind of just finding their rhythm at the minute. We don't usually see too much earlier on in these sessions. It's usually a build-up type thing. Quick Mick currently on a lap. Quick Mick has quite a few fans, so we'll just keep an eye on Quick Mick. Mando, hello. Slicks, I think that is, also saying hi. Evo, your mic crackling every time you talk, but I suspect that's actually a Twitch thing, so that's nothing to worry about.
Good Robbie. If not, I'll reset my headset.
Yeah, it could just be because mine was having problems, that it just went onto yours. You know how Twitch works with problems like that.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Always try it, but no promising it works.
I'm back now, I'm just going to reset the headset.
Alright, we're keeping our Liam Fisher now in the other Williams car, who has only said a 23.3 at the moment, at the back of the field. Twitch channel, Rocket, hello Horizon, how's it going? How are you feeling? Been trying to get hold of Horizon actually today. Did well to get hold of him eventually, and then my usual self just stopped messaging at that point. I don't know what's going on, I'm just not messaging much at all. It's getting harder to get hold of me, I guess. And that is to everyone. No one has actually got me messaging them much at all at the moment. And then when I do message you, lots of them block me. Anyway, Liam Fisher tonight, it's going to be a 22.6, only P17 at the minute. It's an improvement on the lap time, but it's... Yeah, we're expecting a bit faster from Liam Fisher. Maybe he's just building up, as we say. 8 minutes to go on the session. Would have thought we would be seeing a little bit more faster times coming through now. People starting to risk a bit more. They have a banker lap on the board, or at least some do. Maybe this is a lap they invalidate, have a spin, have a crash, and then they have to reset themselves. It's usually what we expect in these short qualifiers. Hello, welcome back. Tell you what, Eddie is flying. Oh, I spoke too soon. That's 2 laps now for Eddie, who's invalidated them. Rizzo now starting a lap time. Purple sector 1 apparently, but we can never trust that. Oh yeah. In the McLaren.
Yep, around final corner. Cruise to 21.0.
It's a lap time. I think that's the positive there. just outside top 10. He actually just got beaten by the Ferrari driver, I guess, of Mighty. The only driver I think improved just then.
So,
but here comes Rizzo then through the final corner. Hopefully doesn't invalidate here. Easily run wide on the exit, but gets away with it. So coming to the line, it's going to be 120.5, puts himself P4. Very good for Rizzo. Oh, Clay's 20.1. That's the new benchmark then. Oh, we got a car on the wall. That's a Ferrari of tennis. He might have got wind damage from that. That's quite a sizable impact, that. So that's a few early spins in the session then. Well, that we've seen anyway. We're just talking about sacking Charismatic and the lobby host again because he got the settings wrong. It probably means we are restarting after this qualifying, so we'll have to keep an eye on the grid order. Scotty's running out of ERS here. I don't know if he's still pushing on a lap. I believe so. But he's hit 0 going into Parabolica. Just hope for a very good exit and run to the line. He's going to reach 0 again on the ERS and does pit, so we'll switch back to Old Manzi. Just starting a lap in the other Alpine Cup. Milty's also on a lap now, or just starting one. He's 16 currently with a 21.2. But we're just under 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the session. Do you think he's got time for another run after this, or is this it?
If he has a nightmare on this run, I would recommend him coming straight into the pits and not finishing this lap off, otherwise he won't have time.
Oh, Mazzy also getting a purple sector too, but he has now backed out of it. Yeah, and Millsy's done exactly what you said. He messed up a little bit until when he backed out of it. So Charismatic or Jigsaw, I guess. Oh, Jigsaw's invalidated, so not Jigsaw then. Charismatic.
He's got a mistake as well. He's backed off.
Yeah. Easy done round here though. You have track limits everywhere. Plus trying to not spin the goddamn thing.
Very easy. Or even just getting traction as well sometimes.
Yeah, fastest gets pole for sprint, says Horizon. That is how that works. Saying that, I don't know. I can't remember how restarts go for the sprint and the other race. I believe it's... Oh, that's a bit clip curbing from Charismatic. Mushy's also now just starting a lap. Probably his final lap in this session. Till Charismatic is sending this car. Very nice out of Lesmo too. The benchmark is a 20.1. Needs to be improving on his lap time by at least half a second. And I haven't got a second split to see how well he's doing at the moment. Okay, he's a tenth and a half down. But if he gets a Scary right, which is sending it all over the curb, that is risking the curb, wasn't it?
Yeah. GPL slips through.
Towards the final corner, looking for a nice exit for Charismatic. Is this enough to put himself in the top 3? Maybe front row? Don't think so though. It's a 120.6. Does improve, but only by 1.
Yeah.
Now the other driver on the lap that I mentioned was Mushy, and he is flying in that Red Bull, trying to recapture that P5 again. A few drivers still in the pits.
Unless he's slightly down, he's invalidated. He's got an extra fuel back off and go again.
That was a rather big invalidation as well, actually. Yeah. So Tennis and Dano both on laps together now. Through Ascari they both go. I believe they're both on laps. I don't know if Tennis actually is or not. I see his ERS light flashing, so I'm actually going to assume not.
My TV2 is just over 2 tenths up on his time. Can check the one.
Spano clipping the grass on the inside of Parabolica. Is that cost a minute of time as it comes to the line? It's a 20.9. Yeah, he didn't want to clip that grass. But yeah, like you said, Mighty
improvement. That's good in there.
puts himself inside the top 10, but I can't see that staying with this many people out on track. Eddie Brooks the one risking everything though. He hasn't got a lap time to his name, and you're on your final run. Mighty goes P3. Look at that, 20.4.
Very good lap time there.
Right, Ruff's on a lap. Tennis is not. Oh, man, tumble around the final corner. One of the championship contenders coming to the line wants a strong qualifying tonight. It's not usually getting one. It's a 20.2. Mush is out.
Very good. See what he can do. Just starts doing his lap now.
Yeah, as we are into the final minute of qualifying. These are the final runs then. There is a car off at Ascari.
I think that's Mushy, isn't it?
No,
It is.
no. Mushy retired in the pits. I don't know which car that is. I think it's a Williams.
I'm sorry. I might be the Williams.
Oh, the plates was just starting lap, my bad. I think there's going to be a few movements in a second. I don't know who's on laps and who isn't now.
Yeah, it's cool. Jinx is just over. That's the line.
Yeah, keeping an eye on
Just
Bad Dog.
starting his final lap now.
Yeah, that's qualifying over for a few of the guys already. Here comes Bad Dog to the line. Doesn't improve. Where's the improvements? Here comes Aaron. 3.5 tenths up, but he is only on a 21.2. If it's a 20.9, it's P14, P13. He did a 20.7 in the end, gaining another tenth, but I would have expected more from Aaron. Here comes Rizzo. Is he improving? No. Well, he improved by half tenth, but, you know, no position gain. Eddie, maybe? Eddie's going to settle up. Yes, P3. Nice, Eddie.
Very well done.
Yeah, that's the Eddie we know and love. And then it's all
Delivered under pressure. But what can Jinx to do? He went that early pace.
Oh wow. Plate's improving as well, showing the domination that he's got at the moment. Bradshaw's the next one's come through. Although there's a Haas in front. Maybe Millsy's actually in front here. Is Millsy going to pit? Right, Millsy's in the pits. Bradshaw continues to the line. It's a 120.3 P5.
Slight improvement.
Yeah, it's gaining a position, which could make a difference.
Headfirst is backed out. I think he's run out of fuel.
So it's Clates, Tobble, Eddie.
Qualifying order.
Yes, for the sprint. No, Casper. Casper Lesniak 2007. That is a name. I'm going to give you that. That is. I don't even know how you pronounce that. That is. Maybe it's K-A? C? No, I have no idea how you pronounce your name. That is something, that. God damn. How are you meant to pull that name out? It's pronounced Casper. Yeah, but the second part of that is something.
Well, that's very interesting.
What's that?
What was Paul at 20.1, wasn't it?
Yes.
So that would have put him P11 on the grid for Division 1.
Well, then again, no one really raced in Div 1, did they? Oh. Well, your time must have been shocking. What were you doing?
I did do a very bad lap. But, well, say a bad lap. On my final run, I actually invalidated when I was about 0.6 of a second up. So, but still, not taking anything away from Jay Clay. That was a very good lap there. And this is Division 4, and I'm really bad at it. Division 4 definitely showing some good pace.
Yes, now then, let's leave this lobby. Hopefully everyone hurries us up so we don't have to wait too long to get this racing underway. So, from what you've seen from qualifying alone, if you need the order, I can send you it. If not, you can, if you remember it, then you remember it. There's a few shout-outs here, actually. I will send you it, actually, because it's be easier for me to actually look at it. It's on your Discord's DM, if you want it. It's up to you.
I'll have a look now.
Yeah. The interesting one here is Eddie being P3. I don't really know Jixer very well in P4. But yeah, your championship leader going into tonight, Tree, is P13. That's not where you want to be, even if you weren't a championship contender. P13. And it's from Clates, and Clates, you know, is the one on top. And Tobble is also up there. Same with Mushy. Well, Mushy's a little bit further down. Oh, where's Mushy
qualifying that Mushy is P9, I do believe. Yes.
I tell you what, that's
for the championship leader tree, that's not the best of qualifyings, but if you can catch people out of DRS trains, it is relatively easy to overtake around here. So, but it's DRS trains, one of the worst tracks for them. So,
see, I never really understood DRS trains. Because it only takes one mistake from the leading car in a DRS train, and then suddenly it's all everywhere action. And then it's usually the action like that for the rest of the race. It's just waiting for that first mistake, I guess.
yeah. So, oh God.
So although it's DRS trains, you know, it's still action all the way through. So I've never really liked that phrase. Personal preference. As I've left my goddamn drink on the sofa. That's the usual me.
Alright.
Will people remember their setups? The other surprise going on actually is the Constructors' Championship battle, because that is also quite high at the moment. Aston currently leading it, which is not a surprise considering you've got one Aston on pole. McLaren is P2 and Mercedes is P3. You look at the team that Mushy's in Red Bull, and they're P5 in the Constructors, and 81 points behind, so... Still, could be worse. You could be Alpine. 22 points in total. Better than nothing, I suppose.
Yep.
But they'll be hoping for hopefully some good luck and good fortune their way. After all, I used to drive for the Alpine car this season, and then stopped. So what division are you racing in? Sorry, you Div 1, yeah?
Yeah, I'm reserving Div 1. So.
Reserving?
Yeah.
Didn't want a full-time seat, or can't get one, or?
No, I stepped down from the full-time seat with other commitments. So it's yeah.
Pretty much how every other Div 1 driver has gone this season.
Unfortunately, yeah. It's it is a shame because there's some good races in Div 1. So, but you never know. Hopefully next game they might come back. So.
Right, he just wants me to check the settings for him. I don't really care about the assists as long as they're somewhat correct. That's all that you need. Sprint and race, long, realistic. Why is it on realistic? I'm guessing he hasn't done the grid yet. That's why that's like that. That needs to be approximate. Even if it's a red flag, I don't know. I assume that still has to be approximate, but it's not make a difference because it's custom. Yeah, settings all look correct now. Just in future, we'll need to change the thing to approximate. You might have been looking at the stream though. Muddy's slating me in the chat, by the way, saying I'm using steering assist. How dare he? Right, it's a Polish name. That's pretty cool. RSF1. Mushy is my goat. Yeah, Mushy has a lot of fans, by the way, but Mushy is a character. I think you'll like Mushy. Haribo's also another Mushy fan. Dano, I'm still top 5 in standings. How I'm not fast. Dano, you are fast. Millsy, P80 for myself. Shocked bottle last 2 runs. So Millsy's got more on his tank. Maybe something to look forward to in the sprint. And Eddie, thanks for reminding me, Rocket, about the setup, I am assuming.
I know sometimes it's not about being fast, it's being consistent. That's probably how you find yourself in top 5.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have said Dano was consistent this season. No offense to Dano. He would agree with me, actually.
First time of commentating and watching Div 4, unfortunately, so I don't really know much.
Well, it depends how Dano's feeling, to be honest. If you look back at the likes of Abu Dhabi, the whole time I was looking at Dano as he was in other cars, literally in other cars. But if you look at his other track records, he's done well and come back from nowhere to get top 5, top 10 points, you know. And a lot of these drivers, they are really inconsistent. It is massively inconsistent. I mean, we had Mantubble, championship leader by like 50, 60 points at one point. And he lost the championship league by a massive amount to Tree just for the fact he didn't finish 3 races in a row. Canada was one of those where I remember seeing him in a wall. And at that point, we thought that Tubble was just going to go off and run away with the championship. And here he is now not even leading it. So what were you going to add?
No, I'm not going to add anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mushy.
It's quite easily done.
Yeah.
Especially Canada. I always find Canada quite tricky, and if I crash out in Canada, my concentration is obscured or a bit varied for the next 3 races. Just knocks the confidence a little bit. There you go. Right then, so we're heading into sprint now.
Yeah.
Looks of it.
Just going to get Charismatic just to double check he's in the right order because he didn't select his AlphaTauri before he did the grid. So just going to make sure he's happy with it. I suspect he is, as long as he's in the right position. After all, he's the one who changed the car. China, I was last and finished P2 on track. I guess I got that, says Dano. So, you know, he has got some skill too, just not a lot. He's so going to kill.
Especially on the Chinese circuit.
I mean, yeah. Although China is one of those tracks where you either like it and you really like it, or you hate it and you just struggle.
Yeah.
The amount of fast drivers or fastest drivers start at China and then they qualify high and then end up nowhere in the race is ridiculous. Oh, tree, what are you doing that for? Oh
Yeah,
dear.
I
What is...
know, Menzie. I hope that hasn't broken the lobby.
Yeah, I shouldn't do.
See if I can quickly find them now on
Yeah, I've just added both drivers in the Div 4 chat. Uh, a little bit looking on the chat side of things. We will get into this at some point. People watching. Hopefully, people are remembering their setups.
That's a fair point. They're not going to be able to load their setups either.
Oh yeah, they'll be on yeah, what you call it?
They'll be on defaults.
Oh god, default setup round here. I'm pretty. I'm trying to think who else was on default this week, but it is definitely not a track you want default. Not even in the slightest. No advantage here on this specific track. The wings are wrong through Riscari. There's no straight line speed. There's no cornering ability, and then acceleration and deceleration. It's just ridiculous how much of a difference it all makes. So,
That's true.
are you expecting much from the sprint?
Sprint can go one or two ways, I've always found. It could either be really action packed, or it could be that the field just spreads out too much from instances. Um, Hopefully, it's an action packed one.
What, right from the beginning, you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon 2-1. Everybody just need, to be honest, everybody just needs to be nice and careful and calm, to be honest, and then have a bit of fighting afterwards. This 2-1 around here is notorious for instances to start the race.
I actually don't think, and I'm not trying to jinx it here either. I don't think we've had a turn one, lap one crash yet this week. Unless it's been like later on lap two or something, but not lap one. That's what I'm getting at. There's not been a lap one, turn one, massive action crash like I think we were all expecting. So it's good to see drivers are actually respecting it, but you know we've got 2 more races to go. We'll speak about that after we get through it.
Yeah. Right, so Blaze has got back in. I have sent out a invite for Almanzi.
Yeah, it's not
Old
telling
man.
us if he's joined or not, really. We're just going to assume that he has.
Hopefully.
Right then, I'm going to hand the formation lap over to you. I'm guessing you know how this works. Start from, well, I recommend you start from P20. The other guy I was with started from P1.
Yep.
Right.
So, starting from P20, we have Liam Fisher in the Williams, Old Manzi in the Alpine, Zuzu, both teammates of the Haas, Zuzu and Bad Dog 69 in 18th and 17th, and the first of the Ferraris, first in 16th. Richie Chappelle ran in 15th in the AlphaTauri. Yeah, the Aston Martin of Aaron, or first Aston Martin I should say, of Aaron, don't know how to pronounce the last name, sorry about that. And we have the 2 McLarens, championship leader of Tree Ram Blaze, and then just in front is Quick Nick. And we have the Williams of Dano then. Now we start the top 10. So we first have the Alpine of Scotty, with the Red Bull of Meshi in 9th, the second AlphaTauri of Charismatic in 8th, Rizzo in the Alfa Romeo in 7th. Mighty V2 in the Ferrari in 6th place. 5th place in Mercedes is Bradshaw. 4th place in the Alfa Romeo is Winter. And top 3 is the Red Bull of Eddie Brook, the Mercedes of the man Tobble, and your pole sitter of the Aston Martin is Jake Lates.
Yeah, quick tire update. Everyone's on the mediums. Thank God everyone's on the mediums. If you're starting on the softs, like we have seen several times this season, it just doesn't work, and people still do it. I don't understand it, but yeah, sometimes people still go on the softs. But luckily, we have a full grid here. Everyone's on the same time kind of tires, which means we should have a rather evenly start. Clates, P2 in the championship, 2 points behind Tree, who is running in P13. It'll be those two to keep an eye out on, because they're the ones that matter at the moment with just a couple rounds to go. We are over the halfway mark now. Well and truly over the halfway mark now. As we get this under starting orders. Don't know what we're waiting for, but what's waiting? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 red lights then for the Italian sprint race is underway. Clates gets a very decent start ahead of Man. Tommy's already under pressure from Eddie. Eddie's made a bad start. He's 3 wide, going in towards turn 1 with the Jigsaw on the inside. It's turn 1. Eddie's brakes late. He's made contact with Mercedes. There's a lot of cars taking all sorts of different lines through turn 1. And there's been a crash at the back.
Alpine Scotty, which was around a little bit.
Yeah, there's been a lot of contact here. Jigsaw's into P3 though. Yeah. He's got past Eddie. After Eddie's very much late braking at turn 1. He's hit the back of Tobble. Lucky not to spin in. Jigsaw, you need to be careful on that on lap 1. As Aaron and Rizzo are going at it as well. I don't know if Rizzo made a mistake and that's why Aaron's got past. Old man just re-left the session again. I think he's just struggling with connection all the way through here.
Another
yeah, as Bradshaw is putting the pressure on Mighty, but through Ascari for the opening time. This is where if your tyres are not up to temperature, if you're not used to touching that curb in dirty air, you will bin it. And Scotty has now left the session. What is going on? Maybe EA is just struggling to keep up with the fact that it's a sprint.
Could well be.
Yes, Krizik's made a decent start into P5, but then he did get host advantage, so we do kind of expect that. As Jigsaw goes through into P2, then gets past Tobble. Is Tobble going to come back on the brakes? He thought about the late braking, but decided against it. Though Jigsaw's gone in deep behind Eddie, very deep, side by side with Charisma. Because of it, there is contact between the pair on the exit of turn 2 into turn 3, and into fast right. Charismic is now through into P4, side by side behind between the other Red Bull. This is getting all a bit tight here. Because you got Mighty versus Mushy, Tobble versus Jigsaw in front. Great move by Tobble in the distance. Jigsaw's coming back with the switchback. Doesn't get alongside into Lesmo 1 though. Everyone else just keeping it line of stern.
I can't seem to find Scotty on Xbox.
He could be PC. Yeah, Scotty is PC.
Right.
So you'll have to invite him through game. If you haven't got him as a friend, you won't be able to do that. Oh no, Charismic! Every single time he's up there, he spins or bins it. Now, please don't do whatever Div I was watching before did, where they just rejoined when they wanted to. He is being patient and rejoining safely. So that is good to see. But for Charismic, that is a disaster. And it's why his season isn't up there, really. Clates has got a 2.1 second lead here, absolutely firing it away, whereas Tree, you know, the one rival that he's got, is absolutely nowhere in P14. Oh, look at the two Rebels. They are side by side with Tobble. Tobble got a great drive out of the exit of turn 2 to manage to hold on to one of the Rebels, but here comes Eddie towards the outside, who'll have the inside for next chicane, but here comes Mushy. He's going to go 3 wide. Then it's not a corner. He goes 3 wide. Oh, Mushy's made contact with his teammate. Oh, Tubble had to cut the chicane. He's going to have to give up position between the Ferrari as well. Oh, he's made a mistake on the braking. Nice under pressure from Bradshaw. Quimmick gets past Dano. Nice move up the inside of Lesmo 1.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a spin, Rizzo. Oh, Lesmo 2. So he's just caught the grass on the entrance there. Easy done. Happens to the best.
Yep.
But these Red Bulls.
Still can't get an invite to Scotty.
Oh, Tubble! He's in the wall. He's hit the bullard as well. There's a car off in the background. Massive impact to the wall for Liam Fisher. He's out. That could be a safety car. It's in a dangerous spot, and it is a safety car. Yep. So, yeah. That was a bit active, wasn't it? Yeah, I can't seem to do much at all, actually, when it comes to invites. I'm going to see if I have him.
The only, it's one of the problems that we have for Xbox. Xbox can't seem to invite PC players into Xbox lobbies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can if you press pause and have him as a friend, but as people can see, I don't have him as a friend on here. So
yeah.
either he hasn't added me or I haven't added him. Oh, Dano, why have you got 5 seconds for speeding in the pits for? You know that inconsistency for Dano? It's little things like that that's just going to cost him a lot. Oh, Mandy's retired. Has he binned it? Why have we got 2 cars off at the exit of... Okay, has he hit the safety car, do you reckon? Look at where his car is. Do you reckon he's hit that safety car? I think Mandy's genuinely gone into the safety car. It'd be a weird place to bin it if he hasn't. I'm just putting it out there. I think he's made a rookie mistake and hit the safety car.
Unless he spun off the rear tyres coming out of T2, just after the exit curve of T2.
Yeah, but how often do you see that?
I've done it quite a few times.
Yeah, it's but on warm mediums though, I mean, if you're on cold tyres, then yeah, you probably would expect it. But he was on mediums. I think he has actually gone into the safety car. Right, so Tree is now in P9. Remember, because he was one of the drivers, did Tree disconnect? Tree did disconnect, didn't he? No, I don't think Tree disconnected. Did Tree just said he couldn't take control. That's in the Div 4 chat. So actually, I don't know if he did or not. Why is Dano passing Richie? Is one of them pitted? Oh, Dano's re-pitted to get rid of his 5 seconds. He's given away all his track position to do this, which means Dano's going to be last. But he will have fresher softs. Could that help Dano, or do you reckon that this sprint is actually damage limitation now?
I would say damage limitation, but fresh softs around here could help out a little bit.
Yeah, it's not help with how far back he is.
No.
And the safety car will
at the same time, he's hit his race as well because he's using up tyres.
Well, at least he's got his penalty anyway.
Yeah.
The bad news here, actually, the one who's lost out the most, like we said before, is Clays. I mean, he had a 2.1 second lead, and now look at that. Jix is behind.
Straight red back.
But the thing helping Clays is the fact that, you know, these 2 Red Bulls are causing all sorts of mischief at the moment.
Shout out to Mushy though. Gaining 6 places so far. The 3rd. Last we got Aaron gaining 7 places from the start. Nick, or the 2 McLarens then is placing.
Right.
Certainly an interesting.
I suppose for now as well, just because it's the sprint race and not the actual race, that does save Tree a little bit. So he's got another go yet.
Yeah.
But he does want to keep gaining positions. He's got his teammate in front, but his teammate's not going to let him through. I mean, you know, he's fighting for his own race here. Lap 6 out of 9.
Have to remember as well, I do believe Tree is using default
Yeah.
setup as well. So that is very good.
The other interesting thing here is one of the other championship leaders has got a 5-second penalty. Man Tubble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Might
And then Dano picks up a 3 seconds, as you probably already said. I was just dealing with headset problems while that was happening.
No, I actually just noticed that. He must have picked that up whilst he was catching up to the safety car line.
Right, hopefully Red Bulls, you behave and don't hit the car in front. Oh, Aaron isn't behaving. He's trying to overtake Bradshaw. That's an interesting one. When is Clates going to go? He's keeping it around the 90-mile-an-hour mark. He's going to wait for the safety car to be in clearance, and then he is free to go whenever he wants. Probably free now, to be fair. But you don't really want to go and then go into a corner, because you just don't gain anything.
You're still... I would say do it as close to the line as possible.
Yeah, especially around Italy. But at the same time, you want to catch him off guard. He's gone now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's caught him absolutely napping!
He has.
Oh, I tell you what, that was close between Mushy overtaking for that safety car line.
Definitely done, and Mushy is jinxed as well.
Yeah, that was close to the safety car line. Now into the brakes for the first time! Yep, Eddie's off the track.
Ooh.
I said he'll have cold brakes, and he has outbraked himself. And he's gone straight into all the boards. Plus, oh, spin! That's Aaron! Aaron's had contact with the Mercedes driver, Bradshaw. Oh dear. And Tubble is making all sorts of progress. Dubgate's got that penalty. We've got people going slow. Man, Tubble's just overtaken 4 cars. Oh, he's on the inside. Doesn't quite get Eddie. Eddie hangs on. Oh, Tubble's hit the back of Eddie now. He got a car off of the chicane.
Nice switch back from 3 there. Stoppy.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the soft runners mixing with the medium runners, instantly making a massive difference. Plus all the illegal overtakes because of the yellow flag caused by Eddie. Not on purpose, of course. Up the inside goes Richie or Scotty. I think Scotty might still be AI because, well, there's just no way we can invite him, I suppose.
Yeah.
Richie got that all wrong at the end of Scary as well, so he's been overtaken by the AI, if it is AI. Quick mix to the inside. Thought about it on Tubble, but don't forget Tubble's on softs. I thought Tubble would be able to, you know, get in front of the other medium runners before being put under pressure from other medium runners. But actually, it's Quidmick on the move, trying to get back past Tubble. And then his teammate is struggling here because the Alpine driver is up the inside. We have someone's tired. There's a lot of contact going on here.
Pazuzu, did yeah, Pazuzu's retired in the pits.
Yeah, up the inside goes Quidmick of Eddie. And this is going to allow Tubble again. Is Tubble going to make it 3 wide? Is he going to be patient? Tubble is going to be patient.
Yeah, side-by-side action between Ted First and Bradshaw as well.
Oh, it's all going on here.
Oh,
Charismatic.
Bradshaw's been turned round by Rizzo.
So Bradshaw's day's just gone from bad to even worse after being in contact with Aaron. Aaron currently in last because of that. But Mushy is on a move here. He's only 7/10 behind. You race leader, although you race leader doesn't have a lot more ERS. You've still got to drive the car. Eddie's dropping back a little bit out of the clutches of the Ferrari in front. So Eddie's made a bad restart if you're looking at positions. Ted First putting all sorts of pressure on Tree. Tree's going backwards, but if he is running default setup like you say, he's going to really struggle tonight.
He is, yeah.
And he's not going to be happy.
Struggle. The straight line speed is not going to be there unless the one thing you mainly need around this track.
Yeah, he's holding on for now in front of Teddis, but you know, the minute Teddis starts using that overtake. It's going to be game over as we do start the final lap of this Italian sprint race with Claes under all sorts of pressure from Mushy. Both of them fighting for this championship. The other two are Tobble and Tree, but both of those two drivers are kind of running nowhere because Tobble's got that 5 seconds and Tree is also nowhere. Richie's putting Scotty under all sorts of pressure. In fact, Richie might be able to go from moving to Ascari. Oh, it moved twice.
Yeah.
And now it's gone what? Oh, it's lagging as well. Or is that Richie disconnecting? Oh, Richie! Oh, save it! No, he has gone.
Oh,
That is not a place you want to. And Bad Dogs is out. Oh, Bad Dogs crashed Ascari Part 1. The other drivers crashed on the Ascari Part 2. Plates wins from Mushy from Jigsaw. What a win, Ascari. P5 for Eddie, although Eddie's dropping.
Quick next is P5, followed by Scotty.
Did Eddie have a penalty? Do you know?
I do believe he did, yeah.
Oh, he did he?
I think he did. I think he had a 3-second penalty.
Ah, that's why he's
penalty,
dropped. I didn't realise that. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think something might have happened turn 1.
I will double check on the thing when it comes up. The classification.
Let's just have a look at the sprint results, just to confirm he had a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, 5, not 3. There you go.
Which can maybe get removed. It depends what that 5 seconds was for. And then Dano did well, actually, to come home P12, despite the fact he had the 3 seconds. And Mantubble dropped massively to P11. The drama in the last lap was Bad Dogs crashing that Haas completely, and Richie going for that bizarre spin on the exit.
I'm wondering if Richie got caught out by Scotty a little bit, going a little bit wide.
Yeah, that would have thrown anyone off. It was just lag.
Yeah.
And it's not often if it was AI, it's not often you see an AI lag like that. That's really bad from the game.
Look in chat.
Yeah, Millsy isn't happy with Division. To be honest, in comparison to the other weeks, Millsy, this has been the cleanest so far. Once again, not trying to jinx anything with that. But yeah, with the other divisions, we're looking at about 18 to 20 penalties being the average this week. It's ridiculous. So stewards have had a massive job. Ah, Matty, how's it going? He's just put F2 clear. I don't think F2's clear of anything.
I think Eddie got the 5-second penalty from the mistake into turn 1.
Ah, yes, he cut the corner, didn't he? Yeah, that would do it. He might get that removed. We've seen it before. It depends if the stewards think he gave enough time or not.
Well, he certainly lost a fair amount of positions, I do believe.
But then if he's break that late and rejoining, then you are going to lose quite a few positions. Like, had that been a hairpin or something and you've gone straight on, like, you know, that's how they'll class that.
Yeah.
Angel's happy
I'll
with
leave
Quick
that
Nick.
in the capable hands of the stewards on that one.
Somewhat capable. Really not happy with the stewards this week. My first points come on, says Scotty. So you are racing actually, Scotty. You did get back in, yeah? Right, if that's the case, it means we don't have to worry about the AI. So that's cool. Yeah, my game crashed.
The
But
game crashed.
did you get back in, Scotty? So you're driving now, yeah?
Wicked.
Just
Oh, thankfully we have other PC players there in the lobby then.
yeah, my headset is really doing my head in tonight. Gonna have to unplug it again. Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, yeah, I'm back now. It's just my headset.
Yep.
It's just doing my head in.
I have that every now and again with my headset. A lot of the
Yeah,
time I just
it's
switch it off, switch back on.
yeah, mine's not a plug-in. It's just I'm getting sound through one ear, but not the other ear.
Are you wireless or wired?
No, wired in.
Uh, could be a wire that's starting to break.
Yeah, I
Don't
believe
know.
so.
Not
I might
on.
try unplug it again. Just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back for the race. If I don't have sound, I don't have sound. As long as I can communicate to you, I suppose that's the main thing.
Yep.
Just while I'm trying to sort this problem out, you could always ask the chat who they think's going to win this race, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I was just about to go do that one. So, predictions and who do you think's going to win the race and be top three? And I'll do an extra one as well. Who can guess who the driver of the day is going to be? Going to be.
Ah, I'm back, and I have sound. It's a good life when that
Hey,
happens. Eddie, turn one, braking. It is so inconsistent. You just have to brake early on a safety car restart. They are cold brakes. You won't get it stopped. Which is good, actually. I like the fact that cold brakes actually is something in the game. Just make sure they're warm before braking into that zone. Mushy to win from Dano. And who do you think's going to win, Matt? You enjoying Div 4 so far? What's your thoughts? Evo?
oh yeah, sorry, I was reading something.
That's alright,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely interesting, action-packed, or maybe incident-packed every now and again, but nonetheless, yeah,
Right.
it's, definitely have to keep everything on a head on a swivel.
Would you like to go through your grid again?
I will leave it down to you this time, if that's okay.
That is perfectly acceptable. I respect that. Liam
It's,
Fisher has stayed in P20. So hasn't. Well, I think it's P24. Alvadi P19. And then it's both the Hasses. You've got Millsy, otherwise known as Kazoo, in P18. P17 is Bad Dogs in the other Hass. P16 is Aaron. P15 is JR Bradshaw. One to look out for. He's not going to be happy with Aaron. And Aaron is actually starting right behind him. So there might be something going on there. P14 is Richie. Also was in the walls earlier, as you saw. Rizzo's had a troubled weekend. In fact, he had a trouble weekend last weekend. He just needs to get his head back in the game. He's got pace. P12 is Dano. He needs consistency. He's struggled with it so far. He's got a lot to gain, a lot to lose. Come on, Dano, get it together. Man, Tomo, one of your championship contenders tonight. Well, supposedly, but he is starting in P11. P10 is Charismatic. He's got the host advantage. Could be P5 into turn 1. You never know. P9 is Tedist. Nothing really sad about Tedist. He'll be up there, I'm sure. P8 is Eddie. He is definitely one to look out for. As you heard earlier, he had no breaks since turn 1. So hopefully he doesn't have that again. P7 is Tree. Your champion leader going into tonight, but no longer your champion leader because it was only 2 points in it and Tree scored no points. Also running a default setup. P6 is Scotty, finally getting points after joining back after his game crashed. Top 5 is Quick Mech, making the fans very happy with that one. P4 is Mighty, and then Jixer P3, Marshy P2, and Clays. Your new champion leader on pole position for this main race tonight.
So quickly before the lights out, what's your top three prediction?
Just before we go on to that, we have 14 drivers on the mediums and 5 on the hards and 1 on the softs. My top 3 predictions with that in mind, I have no idea. It's literally going to be just... I couldn't name 3 drivers who are going to win, basically. I could name one that could get the podium, and I'm going to name that one driver who always is there at the end. Every time. He's either there or thereabouts, and that is Man Tobble. I reckon he's got the pace to get a podium, despite the fact he's on soft, despite the fact he's in P11. He's gone for a different decision than everyone else. Sometimes that works out for a driver, sometimes it doesn't. I will ask your prediction.
Soft instead of mediums.
Yeah, it's an interesting call.
Interesting one.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right call, but I think it's an interesting call.
Oh, it'd definitely be a fight through the field. Definitely one to look out for.
Yeah, he's going for a two-stopper. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Everyone is in position, and we're just not going on starting orders. Migrating host. Charismic's left.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, what in the hell?
Underway.
Ted is disqualified. Right. With that in mind, your race leader... Okay, red flag. This is not happening.
Yeah.
No, I'm red flagging this. Yeah, no, this is...
I agree with you on that one.
Okay, calling it red flag. We are restarting. Yeah, there's just a lot of glitches there. No one's really driving, are they?
No, it looks very single file to me. Out in the midfield area.
Oh, I didn't take a picture of the grid. He's going to kill me. Are you able to clip last 5 minutes or something? Oh, actually, I do have... Well, I don't have the grid. No, I don't. Are you able to clip last 5 minutes?
I can see what I can sort out for it.
Or however far.
I've done a record what happened. I'm currently still in the lobby right now, but things will change around too much.
Ah, someone does have the grid. Thank God for that. Alright. Well, now because that's our another restart, that's going to delay it a little bit. Usually it's a bit more smoother than this in Division 4. You know, usually it's a crash fest rather than connection issues, but tonight it's choosing to be the connection issues instead, which actually is probably more likely going to lead to a crash fest because people are going to start getting frustrated and flustered.
It will be, hopefully the drivers can keep their cool and
yeah,
just like the Australian Grand Prix with stop-start action.
Well, hopefully this is a little bit less, what's the word that I'm looking for here? a little less dramatic, politics-wise, because that was a bit.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
Oh, I hate the fact we've had to restart. I hate formation maps. It's just the one thing I can't stand. Right, I'll invite you. And I don't believe I'll really have to invite anyone else. I suspect everyone else is going to be able to just join. Like they did before. I might add that guy who was on PC actually. Because if I can add him, then I can invite him if he disconnects again and stuff. I can't remember who that was now.
It was
Scotty?
Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hasn't quite got into the lobby yet.
No, we'll add him as soon as he does join. While all the weather etc. gets sorted. I don't know why he's changing it to heavy rain. Probably just to wind up the whole of Division 4, get in their heads and stuff. You know what Charismic's like. Well, you don't, but now you do. Right, the other one I'm going to make sure I add is Jixer, because I want to make sure that both of those PC users can get back in if they disconnect again.
I've just sent both of them a friend's request on mine as well.
Just going to let Charismic know to tell him to select his car this time. Right, Scotty's now in, so we can add him. Oh, I've just added Pazoo. I didn't. Oh, I'll do that as well. That worked. It doesn't bother me what I add. Right, I've just added the 2 right ones. Now I've got Pazoo as a friend on it. Great. Well, if he accepts, of course. I'm sure he will. We already pretty much have everyone already. That's pretty quick, wasn't it? We've got 18.
We're still missing 2. There's a 4 grid.
Yes. And because there's 2 people who haven't selected their cars yet, it's going to make it a bit more difficult to figure out who's who unless they select the car.
Well, Pazuzu was in the Haas and Eddie was in the Red Bull.
Yeah, so missing an AlphaTauri, who was Richie.
Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richie. See if I've got him now.
And then the other one was the Haas. Bad Dogs is here, so it's the other Haas, which is Pazu. So he's here. Never mind. Maybe the Williams or Dano.
Dano's in.
Dano isn't. Okay, but it's the other Williams then. I can't remember who the other Williams is.
I've sent Richie a invite. Yeah, he's in.
Nice. So now we're just waiting on the other Williams driver. Which is someone. Why can I not remember who people are? It just does my head in. Right, Liam Fisher, that's who it is.
Liam Fisher, yeah.
Yeah, the guy was at the back. Ah, there he is. I was just about to add him, but he's joined anyway.
Yep. Oh, that is everyone in. Just need Richie and Pazuzu to get into their cars.
Yeah, just Millsy now.
Yeah.
What's Millsy doing? He's usually on chat as well. Wait, Millsy, wake up. Stop sleeping. Get on and select your car. I'll take it if you don't, Millsy. Usually that works. Because they know I'll disconnect or crash and then they won't have a chance of getting points. No? That didn't work either? God, he must be doing something really important. But if you kick him, he'll know you kicked him, won't he? And then he'll say something about it. Funny how drivers do that, innit? God damn useless, aren't they?
If not, I'll take the place on controller instead of steering wheel.
Could you imagine that? Turn one, you just do an edit, and just instead of taking himself out, take everyone else out.
But
Don't need more of it.
I can't even drive like halfway down the straight on a controller anymore. I'm so used to steering wheel on this game.
That's a weird thing to appear on my feed. I've just had speed cameras on M1 and M25 been set to 72 mile an hour. Why would I need to know that? But apparently it's untrue anyway.
Generous of it being 72.
72 is a weird number, isn't it? Imagine you sped 2 mile an hour. Oh, we've gone in. I'm going to assume that means the grid's right and everything else is right. I didn't check, but I'm going to assume so. Yeah, like they could afford doing 72 mile an hour speed ticket cameras. Mate, they can't even afford normal ones. Let alone adding 72 mile an hour. God. I'm going to assume that Angel's going to want Quitmic to win this. Just going to assume that. Quitmic used to have a big fan club, actually. I don't know what happens to his fan club. Who just left? Don't think it was Tree again.
I didn't see.
Oh, if it was, he's about to have a massive meltdown. And oh, it was definitely him. He's typing in Div 4 chat. God damn it.
Oh, no.
This championship has taken another turn.
I do feel sorry for him because he had a chance of being able to load up a setup as well for this race.
I think this game's going to keep getting worse and worse. We just need to get to the end of the season.
Yeah, this game has always had problems when it first come out. So I'm hoping that next year's game for F123 or whatever it's going to be called is going to be better than this.
To be honest, we say that about every game though, and it just never.
No.
I mean, it's never really been a better game since, what, 2019, 2018 games? It all went downhill in 2020. And then 21 came along and everyone was like, oh, this is fun for the first 2 weeks. And then EA decided, or whoever it was, decided, nah, we'll have some fun online servers. Problems. And then 22 came along and, well, this is what they got. Whatever this is. If people remember the subs again, I do want him to win. You see, my sister, right, Angel, if I said to my sister, where do you think I'm going to finish? Or where do you want me to finish? She'll just say in the wall. DNF. Disqualify. She's older than me as well. She's just a bully. It's always me. The innocent. Or somewhat innocent.
Formation lap.
Yeah, I've already done it once, so unless you want to do it again.
I was going to say, do you want to split it? You do 20th to 11th and then on to the top 10?
I mean, I've not heard of that before, but we can do if you want. Okay.
I'm just trying to spice it up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, Liam Fisher. I'll tell you what. The tyre's been changed. Although Man Tom was still going with those softs. He still wants that soft compound. What a weird decision. Okay, yeah. Liam Fisher P20, Mandy P19, P18 is Millsy, P17 is Bad Dogs, P16 is Aaron, P15 is Bradshaw, P14 is Richie, P13 is Rizzo, P12 is Dano, and P11 is Topple.
P10 is Krivnik. P9 is Pedist. P8 is Ed Brookie. P7 is Tree Blaze. P6 is Scotty. P5 is Quickmick. P4 is Mighty V2. P3 is Jinxer. P2 then is Mushy. And P1 is Big Plates.
Yes, so we have one driver on the softs tonight, and we have 2 drivers starting on the hards, which means we have 17 drivers now on the mediums. What that will mean later is basically it's all equal, all to play for, really. I mean, you got 3 drivers on a different strategy call. No idea what strategy call they're going for. It'd be interesting to see what tyres they go for, especially the one on softs. But yes. And don't forget, Krismic with the host advantage start, starting P10.
Yeah. He finds himself in a good few places for turn 1. And will Rizzo get a better start than they did in the sprint race? He dropped a few places before turn 1, so.
We just had a spun AlphaTauri on the grid, Richie. So, they're going to be well and truly on standing orders now. The tyres be getting cold because he spun it on the grid. But here we go then. Do you want to do lights this time?
Can do.
Go for it.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and away we go.
So look at the start from Mushy, though he's bogged down a little bit. Plates is going to get the whole shot. There's a car on the grass. It's Mercedes. And he's hit the back of the Red Bull. Into turn 1 for the opening time. There's contact. Ferrari's gone round. There is cars off everywhere here. And Rizzo's been given a 5-second penalty for contact with Tree. But that's not justified. Bradshaw's going really slow. Maybe illegal overtakes or just feels bad. I don't even know. Side into the second chicane. It was the Aston Martin side with the AlphaTauri of Charismic. Liam Fisher made a mistake. Here comes Man Topple on the inside on the soft. It's also a move in the front. 2 side moves through Lesmo 1. Okay then, that's an interesting one. Topple has the inside for Lesmo 2. Gets the move done. And Aaron backed out of the move on Charismic. Charismic was overtaking Aaron. I can't remember. But yeah, that Mercedes on the grass, that is something I don't recommend on the way to turn 1. Oh no, Quick Mig! Oh, every time he's in a good place. It is Kakor's safety car. It's a broken wing. We've seen the game do it several times. Also, he's in a really dangerous spot here. Any other car could just spin off. But luckily, though, I think we're going to get away with it. Not lucky for Quick Mig.
No, I think that's a bit of it's definitely bad luck for him. They'll need a safety car now to get back into this one.
Yeah, here comes Aaron. Side by side with the AlphaTauri into the right-hander of turn 1. Don't really want to be touching in the braking zone, but, you know, do what you like. Rizzo side by side with the Mercedes. Oh, we got a spin. At the exit of turn 1. Yeah, car round. Oh, it's the Aston.
The Aston, yeah.
Is he beached it? Is he alright? He's alright.
Yeah, he's just waiting for everything to go through.
Yeah.
Mushy is currently putting a lot of pressure on plates here.
But he's got pressure from Jixer as well. As Dano's now got past Charismic, who's lost the rear, I believe. He was on a weird line going to Lesmo 1. The field very much still bunched up together, but it's what we expect in Div 4. We don't expect too many gaps. Here comes Eddie, putting pressure on Scotty. Into Ascari. Scotty's gone wide. Side by side. What a move. Oh, he got crashed plates. No. What's he done? Plate. Oh, that is not something you see often from plates. Wow.
I was going to say, that's a rare mistake from plates, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean... Okay, well, you know what, Tree? You might not be having the best day, but your day just got good. And what the hell is going on back here? What? Bradshaw's got a legal overtake after legal overtake, has he? And now he's getting several DRS enabled. Well, okay, I have no idea what was going on at the back here, but Mantle was in for a change of wing. There's side action at turn 1. Karisic versus Dano. Dano makes the move. What's going on in the midfield? They're all just dropping positions.
Yeah, I'm struggling to keep up, to be honest.
I have no idea what's going on here. He got 5 seconds. Okay, he doesn't either. I'm so confused. Anyway, back to the somewhat leading front. Well, Mushy's now got the lead from Jigsaw. We can expect those two to put pressure into it. Mighty's not out of this yet either.
No, he's with that distance where he's just being able to look after his tyres. Not letting the gear as much, so to come back at them towards the end of the sprint.
How is Millsy P9? I'm sorry, but this guy, right, Millsy, he started goddamn P9. Although Liam's up 13. What is he on? There was some great starters in this, isn't there? Oh, up the inside goes Charismatic. Oh, Liam Fisher around wide. Oh, Jix is putting pressure on. It's turn 1. Clark going for the move, but back at it. Rizzo. I knew Rizzo had pace. He's just not in the right place, is he? Like, if he was up there with the leaders, he'd be alright. He could keep up with the pace. It's just that he's not with them.
Good, yeah.
Tedis is side by side with Millsy. Millsy's putting all sorts of pressure on, but Tedis is on the mediums. Still side by side through the right hand of Richie and Bradshaw. Oh, they're still battling. Got another spin, and it's Quitnick again.
Hedis has made a move on as usual.
Yeah, he had that pretty much set up from turn 1. The other one putting pressure on is Bradshaw versus Richie, but I don't think there's going to be a move. It'd be impressive if there is. Liam Fisher's just been overtaken by Tedis into Lesmo too. So, nice if you like. Here comes Millsy to the outside of Ascari. On Liam Fisher, but they're both closing up on Tedis. So Millsy's had to back up because that, and Jigsaw's just taken the Grand Prix. Quitnick's retired in the pits. Gutted. Switch back from Mushy. There was so much battling going on in other places. We've got side by side to Ascari between Richie and Bradshaw. Oh, and we've got car off. It's an Aston, then it's Aaron.
Mushy going for the lead in turn 1.
Yeah, we got moves for the turn 1 while there's other things going on. You don't know where to look, do you?
Yeah.
And we got Rizzo now putting pressure on Millsy, getting past, actually using DRS to his advantage. So yeah, Angel's not happy with Quitnick. It's a shame for Quitnick, he's got so much pace, so much talent, he just can't use it. He's just having so much bad luck.
And from what I learned on Sunday, give up.
Yeah, as Richie and Bradshaw side by side, turn 1, turn 2, but they get through there somehow. Tree is also battling. Oh, Mancy. They get Tree. We got a spin, and it's Charismatic, who's done the bottle job that he normally is and goes for a spin at some point. God damn it, Charismatic. Here comes Jigsaw for the lead into Ascari. Up the inside of Mushy. Lovely move. Gets it done as well. Right, Mushy, what's your plan now? Remember, he's fighting for a championship. Jigsaw isn't. Does he just stay P2? Work with him? Does he back him?
I would say if I was Mushy right now, I'd spend a lap or 2 behind, just recharge the ERS a little bit.
Yeah.
Personally. But
a lot of trains, but like you said, he's not doing it though. He's putting all sorts of pressure on Jigsaw still into turn 1. Made a mistake out of turn 2 slightly. We've got more overtaking going on because Charismac's now trying to fight his way back through the field. Gets past Liam Fisher into the breakers though. Rizzo's put pressure on Tedis now as well. But yeah, like you said, the ERS battle actually, they're both not in great hands. Now Bad Dogs gets past Bradshaw, who's having an absolute... What is going on back here? I'm very confused with the bottom 5 of this field right now. They're all just tiptoeing, like they're all on default setup or something.
Could well be. Well, Tree is definitely on default setup because he's lagged out
Yeah.
before the start. So
Mighty is actually catching your top two. Or he was just briefly, unless he's just made a mistake through Ascari. But if Mighty can get back into DRS, we could be all right here.
Yep.
Our parabolica
needs to look after the ERS a little bit though. He is currently way behind the top two.
Mushy looking for the inside into turn one. Is he going to back out? Yes, he does. The other one not backing out is Scotty versus Eddie. We know what Eddie's like on the brakes. It's turn one.
Yep.
Give each other space, a little bit of contact. We expect that.
Yep.
Rizzo and Tennis as well behind. Rizzo up the inside. And it gives him so much space. Wow, Rizzo. Didn't need to give him that much space. It wasn't his mistake giving him that much space. He just went through it. Good side-by-side battling though.
Yep. Rizzo might have just took a bit too much curve on turn one.
He didn't even do that really.
The car a bit.
Bradshaw, Richie side-by-side because Bradshaw just got past. Just having a nightmare here. Here comes Treat to the outside of Almanzi as well. What a brave place to go around the outside. He's going to have the inside to the left-hander and get something done. So for Treat, back as P15. Yep. Why is that important? It's because he's one of the champions. 2.2 seconds back is Mighty now, so he is losing time. And these two are still putting all sorts of pressure on each other, being Eddie and Scotty. Do you reckon Eddie's going to re-overtake going into turn one? Especially as the fact that Scotty doesn't have ERS.
Could well do, especially the amount that Eddie's got as well.
Oh yeah, look at this. He's just going
to Eddie.
Yeah. Surely.
Should be easy. Sailing by you.
Both moved right there. That could have been really bad.
Yeah. Could have been maybe a touch of a late move from Scotty, but other than that, no contact, so it's always good.
Yeah, and Rizzo got past Pettis as well this time round. Actually didn't give him too much space, gave him the right amount. Yeah.
Anything else happening towards the back of the field? No, it's pretty much spaced out apart from Old Manzi is keeping tabs with Tree.
Yeah, the main battle here is Scotty versus Eddie. And with the amount of aggression that Eddie has, in a good way, it's not bad aggression, it's just youngster aggression. And I'm going to say youngster aggression a little bit now.
Oh yeah.
It's turn one, well not turn one, Scary losing the rear of both of them actually. Mind you, you try to do 27 laps with Scary, you're going to go off at some point, or corner cut, or this, that and the other.
Quite easily.
Our Parabolica. I think Mushy this time out is starting to save ERS. But the thing is, although he's saving it, he's not really saving it. Does that make sense? Like, he's on only 30% at the moment.
He has been using it in other areas, so he's doing well. Mantobel has just picked up a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, another one of the championship contenders. Well, actually, the only one actually doing anything useful for his championship is Mushy right now. The others are all just bottling it. I mean, not Tree at fault, but yeah. Oh, Jig's a penalty!
That is going to be... Mushy would be looking at that and have a big grin on his face here.
Oh, Eddie as well! What we said about the penalties around this track. Starting to play a big factor. And you know, this brings Mighty back into it, because if they start battling in front, you know, Mighty's going to take full advantage of it.
Sure is.
Liam Fisher's just been overtaken by Bad Dogs into Ascari. Oh, Liam Fisher's been overtaken by Bradshaw as well. Around the outside into Ascari. Light smooth there from Bradshaw. Those round wide. keeps the position though, and I don't think the official will be able to take back as much. He takes the Grand Prix into turn 1, late on the brakes, gets the move done. Gixxer back into P2. So he's seen him get a penalty and is like, right, I'm going to escape now, or try and pull the pin. That's what I'm assuming Mushy's race plan is here now. But he's got to be careful he doesn't pick up a penalty himself.
It all depends, because Gixxer might be right, well, Mushy, if you're quicker. Go in front, pull me along, get away from Mighty, plus 3 seconds on Mighty, and then both of them can just battle it out for the rest of the Grand Prix.
The next battle I think is going to happen
tough, was it?
is Bradshaw versus Bad Dogs. Because Bradshaw has got a little bit more pace than Bad Dogs, I feel. He's just not able to get close enough in the DRS zones. Yeah. Pettis has now caught Rizzo, but Rizzo's also caught Dano. So they're in a little DRS train at the moment.
Scotty's doing well to just stay on the back of Eddie. Although he might have just dropped out of DRS slightly there.
And you know what I said about Mushy wanting to pull the pin? Well, he's gone and set the fast after Grand Prix. If that's not pulling the pin, I don't know what is. Pettis is pitted.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Pettis pitted. And Rizzo looks like he's done a move on Dano as well.
I tell you, if you're Gixxer though, do you battle Mushy trying to force Mushy to get a penalty here? Not necessarily through contact, but through the fact that if you're battling, you're going to get warnings and track limit penalties just because you're giving space.
To be honest, for Gixxer, I would literally just stick with Mushy because you're pulling away from Mighty right now. So, and as Gixxer is like shown as well, it's quite easy to pick up penalties being the lead driver under that pressure from the car behind.
Can you just check how many warnings Mushy has? I think he just picked up one to a scarring.
No?
Only because I want to see how many risks he's taking. If he did just get a warning, he's taking massive risks.
He has just picked up a warning for that one, yes.
And you know what, straight away, he's losing near the Grand Prix. Up the inside goes Gixxer into turn 1 again. Why is he taking the risk of getting penalties? Like, he's got the gap with everyone else. He doesn't need to do that.
Just the thrill of the fight and the competitiveness. That is Mushy's only warning so far though of the race.
Okay, maybe he was using it as a risk factor. Now he's going to just stay behind maybe? Just follow for a bit? It's easier to follow and harder to lead.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's dirty air gets into play, I guess.
What happened to Mighty? Mighty pitted, did he?
Yes. Mighty's pitted, Eddie's pitted. So, who pitted before? Was it Tedis? Right, Tedis is out in head of Dano. So Dano's done the undercut. Oh, Tedis has done the undercut, right?
Yep.
Right, and it's worked out. So the undercut's powerful.
It is, yes.
Right, well that's what we've just learnt. But they are about to catch up a tree. Who is...
At the same time...
Oh, we got a car off in the wall, Eddie! No, Eddie!
No, such a good race from you.
And it's caused a virtual. But he's in a really bad spot that it could cause a fall.
Obviously doesn't like the rear right very much.
He should just box onto another set mediums. Look at the
two
lead.
leaders.
Yeah.
3 leaders have come in.
This is actually worst case scenario for everyone who's just stayed out or like pitted. It's best case scenario if you stayed out before, but it's now worst case scenario for the people. That has changed the strat in this race, and we got Mushy drive through.
Oh,
another
twist. That could be
your top 2 drive
brilliant.
through. Gixxer got one as well.
Surely not.
You can't make that up.
Well,
Okay.
instances, yeah.
You know, they both got drive-through penalties.
It is as well. Wow. So, I
No one
believe
wants this
me
championship. You know. Oh, 5
if
seconds to
Scotty
go.
has a nice calm head, they'll be fighting Mighty V, I do believe, for race win, yeah?
Yes, it'll be Scotty versus Mighty, because Eddie binned
Yep.
himself out of it, and those two just hit themselves a drive-through because of it.
Definitely.
As much as you can blame the game, I think also there is a responsibility for yourself not picking a drive-through penalty leaving the pits. And they must have both forgotten about that delta. Rizzo, Krizik side by side into Ascari. Krizik really lace on the brakes, goes round the outside. I love seeing that overtake there. It's so brave. Right, well, now that they've both picked up drive-through penalties, they'll be well back into this, because they're going to be behind where Millsy was, and Millsy is there on their back. Rizzo and Charismic now side by side. Rizzo just trying to fight back. Top two haven't done it yet. I would have done it immediately, no?
To be honest, with the pace that they're showing, they're probably doing a good one at the moment. They're just going to wait 1 or 2 laps, pump in some quick laps.
Mighty,
Like,
side by side
then
with Scotty.
soon.
Don't make contact. If you do, you're better to be throwing away the race win right now. Mighty through then. Technically,
Mighty through,
race
so.
victory. Well, you know, leave the race. Once everyone else fits.
Net race lead at the moment.
Yeah. But anything can happen. We can get another safety car at the unit.
It could well be.
But if those who have the drive-through need to take that goddamn penalty before that safety car comes out. Yeah, if there's a safety car before they take it, it really is a nightmare for them. Right, Scotty gets a nice exit out of Ascari going into Parabolica. Doesn't keep the speed going. Probably one of them pitted.
Mighty is flashing, no?
Picked. They're risking the safety car thing, and if they do, and there's a safety car now, you know, they have 1 more lap to take it, they'll get disqualified. Unless it's just on our screens that they have drive-throughs. Who knows? Scotty up the inside of Mighty, your net race leader. That's a tight line. Ooh,
Very.
tight. Oh, it's gone. No, it's all Mandy. I thought, okay, I think Scotty did.
Yeah, it's all. I done the same thing then.
They definitely got a warning for that, because that was all 4 wheels off the track at turn 2. Eddie Brook, another penalty, but he's trying to fight his way back through the pack, but he's throwing it all away, getting to his head. Baddock's just got past Bradshaw. Into turn 1, it's all going on.
We got Bradshaw
mistake.
coming back at Bad Dogs here.
Yeah, mistake by, what's his name? Scotty there, Lesmer 1, plus him half a second on Mighty, so that's going to give Mighty a little bit of breathing space. Can he break the DRS? That's important for Mighty's race if he can break the DRS. Scotty can stay with it, it's also big for Scotty's race. For Ascari. Right, hopefully now the 2 leaders actually do pit now. Yes, right, Jigs is in. Don't speed.
Yeah.
Right, and don't use speed
Mushy
either,
is in
Mushy.
at the same time.
Yeah, nice. Where are they going to come out? What you reckon? 10, 15, 18 seconds? P8? Or maybe before?
About P9, I reckon.
It's actually going to be before that. It's going to be about P7. It's got P5, possibly. It's going to be side by side with Tennis. Tennis gets through. So he's P6. For one of them.
So
Mushy
Jigsaw
is P8.
P6. Mushy was P8. Yeah.
Right, they both have really good pace, though. This race is not over for those two.
No,
Obviously,
they do a fight back.
it's going to be hard to catch your top 2. And Mighty's just gained the DRS advantage, so...
Yeah.
Right, Mushy, how quickly are you going to be able to catch this gap? Because you are quite far behind now. And every point matters, don't forget, especially when he is still somehow beating all his championship rivals despite this. Then again, Mad Tumble decided to start on softs. No idea what that strategy was. Plate's binned it from leading. and Tree's running default setup. But if you're like P5 a long way back and you win this race, you're straight back in it again. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's been a race to forget for all the championship contenders
Yeah.
so far.
Been like that a lot late. Reaches in the pits. That helps this lot gain another position. And Jigsaw is up the inside of Tennis, heading towards turn 1. Gets the move done before the braking zone. Jigsaw now only has 2 more cars to re-overtake to gain the lead of this Grand Prix again. This is turning out to be some comeback drive from these drivers, but Mushy hasn't gained anything yet other than the 1 car that pitted. He's in P7. Extra points, but Manta was in the points now as well. So he's gained 1 and he's lost 1, technically, if you're looking at points-wise. Car off, final corner, it's old Mandy. Is that a safety car? Yes! Oh, well, this just made it a bit more interesting for Millsy's race, because Millsy could come back out and lead this Grand Prix. Oh, I really hope.
Yes.
Oh, I hope for Millsy's
Pits
sake.
medium.
Will soft at the end? No.
I wouldn't send softs around here. Mediums. If you've got a brand new set of mediums, I would come into the pits and get them on.
I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, you are being treated to a great Italian Grand Prix. This race has been turned upside down several times. Penalties are going to play a massive factor in this. There's a few already getting some.
Definitely.
They're the ones. I'll tell you what, Mercedes are ready for a car. I'm not seeing that too often, but Mercedes are pitting. There's another car definitely going to be trying to pit as well. Millsy's coming out P3, possibly.
So, Mighty and Scotty have stayed out.
This is too close.
Jinx has stayed out as well.
Millsy Jigsaw going into turn 1. Millsy's just going to come out in front, and he's on mediums. Millsy only has 2 hard compound tyres to win this Grand Prix. And Millsy also won Spa, by the way. And he did this as well. A similar strat. Everyone else is pitting.
Definitely have the pace advantage now. Or tyre advantage, I should say.
Worst case scenario for Richie. He's now on. Well, he's on mediums actually, so it's not too bad for Richie.
No. Well, is this? Well, no more trouble comes with.
So your highest penalty at the moment with current status is Eddie on 6 seconds. We've got Jigsaw on 3, which is still massive for his race. If he's going to win this race tonight, Jigsaw, he's got to pull out a 3-second gap. Which is doable, but he's got,
the top 3 first.
That's a little less doable. Plus trying to not pick up another penalty while doing so. Mushy, we know, who has a track limits warning to his name, maybe another since. And, well, you know I said about that drive-through, if they did it like 1 or 2 laps later, they would have been stuck with the safety car. So they did risk that. They should have just pitted immediately when they found that drive-through, in my opinion.
Hard to tell. Thankfully they were lucky with the safety car not coming out, and they were able to put some quick laps in before pitting to have their position gained. Otherwise, I reckon if they pitted straight away, there would be more traffic to be back. So.
Is everyone now catching back up to the safety car queue? Let us know who you think is going to win this Grand Prix with less than 10 laps to go. Everyone is on a different strategy call at the minute, really. I mean, of course, we could still get another late safety car and everyone boxes for softs or something.
What do I do?
Although,
No.
would you want to be on softs? I reckon we're going to end up going racing again after this next lap. So hopefully Liam, Tree and Aaron do catch up. Tree needs to get himself in the points. Tobble needs to get himself in the points as well. And actually Tree doesn't have a penalty. That's good for Tree's race. If he can keep going without getting a penalty, he could still pick up some points. Damage limitation there for Tree. After what has been a disaster.
Well, currently at the moment though, it's only left to P11 in front of him. That he could keep within limits, or within the penalty limit.
I don't think we're going racing. We should be, but safety
bit
car
too late
is,
now.
yeah, it's going to stay out another lap. Unless it does a late call, which is rare. Almost impossible.
Aaron's a bit too far back.
Yeah, it's annoying from Aaron. Should have driven faster. But then again, he's not trying to ruin his tyres, is he?
Helps out the medium runners.
Well, soft runner in particular, Tedist.
And the soft runner. Tedist bit soft today.
Yep. Only one to do it.
That could be interesting. He could get a good result here. As long as the softs don't overheat.
Well, yeah, you've got a lot of cars behind, well, in front even, that, you know, he's going to get so much tyres, temps higher just because of dirty air and being behind that many cars.
Definitely.
See it in NASCAR a lot. Although NASCAR Formula 1 related. Not so sure there's a similarity there, but there could be. You never know. Of course, following this many cars for too long, your engine starts overheating. Then you lose power.
Makes it even harder to overtake.
Yep, especially on a hot day like it is tonight for these drivers.
Definitely.
Sweating in their race suits, especially if they're wearing shaded colours of white and black. Or if you're in a Red Bull where, you know, or even a hat, I suppose. Bright colours, gonna attract the sun. Right, how good's Mighty at safety car restarts, do you reckon? Why is Tedis dropping?
No.
Right, I don't know either. Is Mighty going to wait till the start-finish straight line, which we think is the best decision? Or is he going to go before then?
See what happens.
Yeah, we said before, you don't want to go into the corner, because then you're just going into an instant braking zone. Which can catch people off guard, because they think, oh, he's not actually going yet, he's just going to the braking point.
Can happen sometimes.
Mighty is waiting. He's gone, and he has caught Scotty off guard. While he's making the jump here is Millsy. Was he on a flag? I don't know why. Here comes Millsy on the brakes. Millsy's outbraked himself. Oh, what? But he hasn't outbraked himself. I'll tell you what, he's done that to perfection. Look at Millsy on the exit. Turn 2, he's taken the lead.
Very well done.
The cornering from Millsy. Got a big crash further back. Bad Dogs, he's around on the grass. He's been involved in something or other.
Yep. Well, he might have been turned a bit.
Oh, Jigsaw, that move
Jigsaw
was never on. Yeah, his mirror got damage from that. That was a big impact into the side pod.
Got Richie's round as well.
Oh, he's had contact with Rizzo. Yeah, no, that's Rizzo again. He's got. I'm really frustrated about Rizzo because he's got so much pace and gets himself in angles like that. They didn't need to be in that situation. Jigsaw's in deep, it's Scary, he's off the track. Yeah. All over the AstroTurf, gonna mess himself up.
Pettis is having a look around here, see what he can get. Eddie Brooks, I think. Eddie Brookie just picked up another penalty, I think.
Yep. Into a Scary one more time.
Top ball's gone wide. We got to make a move.
It's turn 1. The Red Bull looks for the move but didn't quite get it. Ferrari's late on the brakes. Does still make the corner though. Someone didn't. Oh, Aaron's made. Oh, Tobble's made contact with Eddie. Tree's getting full of bods. You know what I said about Tree? He's just what? He's already overtaken one of your championship contenders.
Definitely.
Mushy's in P3. Mushy's on a charge, although he's just lost through the car slightly there. That got a bit scary, didn't it? But yeah, Tobble, it's just been done by trees on a default setup. That's gonna hurt. Scotty's left! No! Oh, we got AI kart. Okay, Bradshaw, you're gonna want to overtake pretty damn quickly. Because that AI kart is going to be a nightmare, as he is finding out right in a second, going into a Ascari. Side by side, Scotty has rejoined. He's only lost one place at the minute. Through the second part of Ascari, there is about 6 cars here in this train. Heading into the final corner, we've got up the inside. That's Dano, is it? On Tedist. Oh, that's contact. That's crispy. Oh.
Yeah, Christmas and Pettis come together on.
Here comes
That
Dano.
allows Tree into points.
3 wide. It's turn 1. Oh god, this ain't gonna end well, is it? Or is it? Oh wait. Oh wait. They got through
Things
it.
are getting sandwiched here between Dano and Scotty.
Yeah, Tedis had great acceleration drive, but he couldn't go anywhere. He had Jixer in the way, and then Scotty blocked him in. Fair racing from Scotty, who is now going from the inside into the chicane. Oh, you can't move that late, Jixer. That. Oh, where's Tedis going? Tedis? There was a corner there. Apparently not. Aaron to the outside. Aaron's into P8. What comeback drive from Aaron? He was last.
Watch out for Tree. Tree might catch up a little bit.
Oh, this has been crazy, hasn't it? Right, here comes Aaron again. He's looking onto the back of Scotty, who's just come back after the disconnect. Millsy's still leading his Grand Prix. We expected him just to pull away, though, on the mediums in comparison to hard runners.
Mighty V2 has definitely kept him honest. Kept the user honest here.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this. I thought Millsy would have gapped him.
Depends on how well the hards are working.
Yeah, and I suppose it's 6 lap off mediums now, isn't it? So they are going from their best. Which you have to question what Tedis' tyres are on. But Tedis is actually still making moves here. Up the inside into turn 1. In the background, it's getting racy as well. You got, all sorts going on here.
Tree has lost 2 places on the start-finish straight there to Eddie and Tobble.
Oh, I feel really frustrated for Tree there. It's because of the default setup. Oh, side between the Liz. Mice has got through. What has happened to Millsy? He had a 7/10 gap. Into Lesmo 2. Okay,
Mikey
Millsy.
has burned a lot of the RS though. So I'm wondering if the Zuzu's gonna sit back a bit.
How's Moshi back in this?
He's done a fabulous comeback drive here.
Tell you what, this is why he's a championship contender at the moment.
Yep.
And he's probably been a lot of people's favourites after this weekend to win this championship. I tell you what, Millsy made a mistake. Here comes Moshi to the inside. Out of Parabolica on the start finish straight. He's into P2. One driver to go then, and the driver in front doesn't have ERS even. Oh, he doesn't have ERS, he doesn't have DRS either, but neither does Mushy, I suppose. Dano is now into P4. How is Dano here? Hello, Dano. He's woken up. He's decided he wants to come to the party.
Yeah. Only he's got a
oh, yeah,
penalty,
knew that was coming. Big contact. That is Aaron round again at turn 1. He had contact from Eddie. Oh, that's not going to go down well. That's the second time Aaron's off at turn 1. That's a rejoin dangerously into Richie. You might get a penalty for that as well. It's not gone well for Aaron. And it was going well for Aaron. It's just no longer going well for Aaron.
Promotes Tree up to
where the hell are you
into
going?
the points again though.
It does, yeah. Tree's P10. And actually technically P9. Oh, is it P9? It's 3.3. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on the gaps.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that one.
Mushy or Mighty?
Challenging for Mighty.
Yeah, I can't believe Millsy's not there. He's on the mediums. I thought he'd have this. I mean, maybe he still does.
Might start to overheat.
Oh. got another local yellow. I don't know why.
It's towards the back.
Yeah,
I
side
think
by
Eddie
side.
had a bit of a spin.
Here comes Mushy to the outside, heading towards turn number 1. Drag passes past the Ferrari, using the Red Bull straight line speed to his advantage. And he goes through into take to lead the Grand Prix again. Jigsaw is now passing Bradshaw as well. On the exit of turn 2, it gets tight. Bradshaw gets the power on a lot better though. Jigsaw not making the progress Mushy is able to make, but Mushy doesn't have ERS and Mighty kind of has a little bit more. But we'll see what kind of pace these two have against each other now. Whereas Millsy has more ERS than the pair of them, but he has 2 cars to overtake. It's going to be hard work for Millsy. Here running P3. Jigsaw still putting all sorts of pressure on Brad. But he has got that penalty, so he's got to. Brisbane's retired in the pits. Probably won't be the only one. As here comes Jigsaw to the outside, heading towards the Scari. Bradshaw's still on the inside, backs out of it, and through goes Jigsaw. Back to your leader though. Man, Thomas making progress. He's back into P8 now. But that penalty, he needs to do a bit more than that.
Hedis has had a bit of a spin by the rest of it.
Yeah, as we have the local... Oh, we got an AI rejoining the track for the pits. He's retired. That could be bad. It means there's no overtaking into turn 1 because of the yellow flags.
Yep.
Hope his AI's not going to take anyone out.
They've rushy a bit.
Oh my word, this AI has got in the path of everyone. It's going to just peel off to the right in a minute. Is it? No, it's going to just stay on track. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it just be easy? Okay, it has now fallen off the track. That could have really messed people up. As Mushy is being put under so much pressure. Bradshaw is trying to pass Jigsaw. Spin! Dano, no! He's been gutted with that. He's done that chicane right 26 times. And on the 27th time, he's just taken too much cabin around. He went, don't we see this so many times? Here comes Mighty. Into Ascari. He needs to get a good exit out of Ascari to have any chance of passing the Red Bull driver. And he hasn't done it. Oh, and he's not shifted up. Oh, that shift does cost him. Dano's now into P9. And he's going to lose that because Tree's not got a penalty. We're on the final corner. Mushy. What a goddamn drive. Drive through penalty and all to win the 50% Monza Grand Prix of Division 4. Mighty comes home P2. Millsy, what a drive to come home P3. Tell what Mighty had what a drive as well. He started bloody nowhere. Oh, he started P2, never mind. Millsy started P15. Yeah. Bit of a difference. Oh wow, that...
Pazuzu done well and did get a little bit lucky with the safety car, but managed to keep his nose clean, get himself after 15 positions gained. Bradshaw with 11 positions gained as well. Good drive from me. Mushy showing that he really wants this title championship. Hopefully he can come back and keep that form going, spice up the championship for the rest of the season now. So yeah, definitely an interesting race. Lots of overtakes happening.
A hell of a lot of overtakes happening in that one. It's good to see though.
Yep.
Dano is going to be really frustrated after that. Tell you what though, it's not the first time this week we've seen people spin out of good places. Especially on the last lap. I mean, there's a lot of people here who are going to be disappointed with themselves. I mean, Mushy would be disappointed with the drive-through penalty, but I think he might feel a bit okay about it now. However, Jigsaw, on the other hand, the penalties tonight really changed his race around. Mantubble disappointed because, you know, he's a championship contender. He should be up there. Tree disappointed about the game because it's a setup problem. Rizzo's race went from bad to worse. You know, it's not really been a great weekend for him. Dano should have been up there a lot higher than what he is in the end. Aaron contacts at turn 1 too many times, or on the exit of turn 2 even spun out because of that. Eddie Brooke getting involved in all sorts of crashes, once again had great pace. Actually had the fast after Grand Prix as well, so proving that theory. Charismic again, another one which should have been up there. Clates, you know, massive one, leading the race, binned it. And once again, Quitmick, another one of the top runners, should have also been up there. They all are capable of being up there. They're just not able to get there. Anyway, let's get these drivers in thy party. They might not talk to us, but they might. We'll see. Fans, they might be a bit tired. It's already 10:10, I suppose.
Yeah. And that'll be a tough race for all of them. A lot of battling as well, so battling, I should say. Yeah.
Haribo's happy.
Yeah, I'm Matty as well in the chat, so
Yeah, I don't know how much he's got all these fans, but I think I need to learn how to do that because I need some fans. I'm running out over here. Good racer. We had 30 viewers at one point, so thank you all for tuning in. Stay for the interviews, of course. It's where all the banter happens. Supposedly. Although, I mean, people like Mushy might be less banter, might be more furious because of the drive-through, but who knows? He might be happy. I don't know what kind of Mushy we got tonight. In fact, he's the only one to join so far.
For another invite. I'll invite him now.
Alrighty. I might just re-invite Millsy as well. I'll invite him anyway. I mean, Millsy might not join. He might not. They've both been invited, but no one other than Mushy is here at the moment. Well, I suppose we can get interviews underway, can't we?
Send another party invite to Mighty.
Alright. Mushy, include your audio?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have, alright. Well, seeing as this guy's now joined before you said that, we'll do him first. That's fine. As long as you got audio included, we'll get to you in a second.
It is now.
Alrighty. Mighty, you include your audio?
I have now, yeah.
Right. You came position 2 in the end. But before we get to that, let's start off with your shorts qualifying. How was that?
Oh, I think it went pretty well, to be fair. I'm quite shocked to get back. I think in the end I dropped into P6. But I was pretty happy with qualifying, to be fair. My first run wasn't that great. My second run was better. And then my third run was just much better. Again, I think it was, a second between the top, I think from first to 18th. There was only a second between us.
Yes, it was really tight in qualifying. So all the tiny margins, all the little mistakes being played out is what made the short qualifying so special earlier. But you came through it nice and strong, and then obviously you had a very good sprint race because you came home P2 in it, I believe.
No, P4 I started. P4 right. I finished the sprint race, yeah, and then started the race in P4.
Right.
But yeah, the sprint race went as well as it could, to be honest.
Yeah, no dramas at the front?
No, we didn't have any dramas getting to turn 1. Turn 1 was fine. Oh, I think actually I got squeezed a little bit in turn 1, but nothing too major. And we all made it through turn 1 pretty unscathed.
And then following on from that, the end of the race was a little bit more dramatic.
I'm sad.
What, the sprint?
It was, yeah. I think I could have not of the sprint, of the main race. The end of the sprint was ridiculous. The last lap, everyone was just either crashing or hitting each other. The sprint race went a little bit crazy at the end.
Yes, the sprint was very entertaining to watch because of that reasoning. But it sounds like you're excited to get to the end of this race. So let's do that then. The end of the main race then. Why are you so sad about it?
I'm just happy to. One, I am really happy to be back on the podium. I can't complain. I haven't had a podium since last season, but I didn't have a seat until midway through this season. So I'm just happy, but I'm sad because I think that would have been my first race win, and I would have got it if it wasn't for a slight incident after I took first. He drove into my rear end going into turn 3 and 4, and I lost a second to Mushy. Isn't it? He just caught straight. That's how Mushy caught straight back up to the back of us because he nearly spanned me in the chicane, and I had to keep it on. Managed to just about keep it on the road and stay in first, but I lost loads of time. Mushy, I feel like if I had kept that time, I probably could have got to the end of the race in first place. But at the same time, I also know how quick Mushy is, and there was any chance that he could have just caught me anyway.
Yeah, but it would have made it a bit more interesting for the end of the race, last lap moves, etc. Which in the end, you did actually have a nice run out of Ascari, and then you just didn't shift up. Was that just because of frustrations at that point? Or?
Oh no, my right shifter is a little bit dodgy. Sometimes it shifts and sometimes it double shifts, and sometimes it just doesn't shift at all, and it just wouldn't shift. I literally had to press it like 6 times to get it to shift up.
Right, because you did get a nice exit, and actually I think you could have been quite close to put the pressure on.
Yeah, I think it would have been quite close to over the line.
But
my shifter decided. But yeah, my shifter's a bit dodgy. It's when it double shifts that's the worst because I come out of the corner and I'm then really slow and I'm just bogged down in the corner.
How was it dealing with Millsy on the mediums on that last safety car restart?
I wasn't expecting him. He I think I heard you say that he outbroke himself and he shot up my ins. I think it was my inside and my outside. But yeah, no, and it was just I could just see the red arrow and I just panicked and I lost quite a bit of time and then he managed to take first from that, which yeah, it was just a little bit scary. I didn't want to get taken out going into turn 1 and I could just see this red arrow getting brighter and brighter.
Yeah, that was late braking to a whole new level, was that? If you had ABS off, that you would have been collected and that was that.
Yeah.
So that was very lucky in the end, actually. That
I was
ABS
lucky.
on.
I actually passed him coming out. I passed him coming out of turn 1 and 2. 1 and 2. He made a massive mistake on like lap 25, lap 26, lap 25, lap 25, and I managed to pass him there. And then going into the next chicane, that was when he hit my rear end. But I had actually passed him before the chicane.
Yeah, possibly caught on stream, possibly not. There was a lot going on that on those final closes, which was, understandable. Yeah. I mean, it's last laps, late safety car. All goes on after that. Everyone loses their heads. Penalties left, right, centre.
I was very gutted with the late safety car. I think if that late safety car hadn't come out, I definitely would have won.
Yeah, 100%. People bottled the safety car, drive-throughs, etc. And
yeah, I was quite happy that Mushy got a drive-through penalty. I'm not going to lie, and then it all got ruined by another safety car.
Oh,
well, we had all virtuals, didn't we? Until
we
had one safety car before, and then that was our second. And we had 2 virtuals, 2 safeties, I think.
Yes,
it's quite interesting. But I'm just happy to be back on the podium. Gutted that I didn't get my first win, but just happy to be here.
Well, very well done on P2. I'll give you that. For the championship, I suppose, are you looking into that at all or not really?
I'm nowhere near. I think I'm on like 15 points at the moment.
Oh, well, you've definitely doubled that then from this weekend, if not doubled it and added some more.
Unless I can win every race from now, I don't think there's any point in looking at it. But then, even then, what have we got? Round 12 of 18?
Yeah.
This season? Yeah, so there's no chance. It'd be nice to finish mid-table and just gain some points, gain some more confidence, because I haven't raced that much. Obviously, not having a seat at the start of the season, I didn't race very much at all, so just being back on the grid's nice.
Well, if my calculations are right, you move into P13 in the championship, but they're probably wrong, and you probably jump a bit more, actually, because I haven't added the sprint into it.
Yeah, well, I get 5 from the sprint.
Right, so you might be P12, P13, that area anyway. So not so bad from being P17, so quite a big jump.
Yeah. But I just want to say congratulations to Mushy. That was a great final 2 laps. I tried to keep him on it. I tried to push him a bit harder, but I just couldn't have the pace.
Yeah, he did have a lot of pace tonight. I'll give him that. And then also for next week, are you looking forward to USA?
Yeah, I actually am. I really like USA.
Good. Should see you again then,
Yeah, hopefully.
if all goes well. No.
Yeah, if all goes well, hopefully I'll be back up on the podium next week.
Alrighty then. Any questions from you, Evo?
No, all good for me.
Alrighty.
Just congrats on P2.
Any other shout outs you want to give, Mighty? No?
No, I think that's it really.
Alrighty. We'll move
Pretty
on.
good. Just want to say, actually, sorry to see Tedis drop.
Well,
He started coming up through the field, and then I think he had a few accidents. I don't know where he actually finished.
Yeah, I can't remember now. It's too long ago. Somewhere. But yeah, there's a lot of disappointing results that I think people are going to find after tonight. A lot of unexpected ones as well. Right, would you like to ask any questions before I do, Evo? Do your P1?
No, crack on. No, good.
Alrighty.
Can't think of any at the moment.
Okay, well, hello, Mr. Mushy.
Hello. Yeah.
I've seen you before.
We meet again.
We do. Why is it so intense? What do you want from me? What have I got? Should we start off with your sprint? I think that's a good not sprint, shorts. That one. I think that needs some talking about, doesn't it? You didn't get pole. What's that all about?
I wasn't very good in qualifying, I don't think. I think I invalidated or messed up on 2 of my laps, so I only got my original lap that I set, but didn't set me up too badly for the sprint, so I'm not too upset about it.
Yeah, you started P9, so you gave yourself a hell of a lot of work to do for the sprint race. Which, talking about, how was that?
It's quite good. Honestly, I can't actually remember how it went, to be honest. I just know that I managed to get P2, so happy about that. It set me up very nicely for the race, so it was good, and I got some decent points from it as well.
Yes. Sprint Mushy, you came P2. So you must have done something right.
Just drove fast, I think.
Yeah? No other
Capitalised
real
on
comments?
other people's mistakes, maybe.
To be honest, the sprint didn't really look too exciting for yourself, other than maybe overtaking 6 cars, which is quite impressive. But so I think we should expect it. And then for the 50%er, there's a lot to talk about here, because you were in a hell of a lot. First things first, the drive-through penalty. What was that all about?
I think it happened to both me and Jigsaw, but
Yes.
as I came out of the pits, my delta was just it didn't say I didn't have any delta as I was going through the first turn, and then midway through it came up really low, and then the VSC just ended and we got drive-throughs, which I wasn't very happy about. I didn't start like accelerating and driving properly for a few seconds because I didn't realize that it had ended, and then we just we went in, served the drive-throughs and dropped down a bit, but got very lucky with that safety car. So
Yeah, you brought yourself back into it, but it didn't really, because you still have the 3 seconds towing penalty. What were track limits a bit getting in your head? Because you saw
Did I
Jigsaw
get
get
penalty?
one. Did you not? No, you didn't actually, did you? Jigsaw got the penalty.
yes.
Right. That's the other thing actually. Because you're the other one to Jigsaw. Jigsaw got a penalty. You then got a track limits warning from trying to break the DRS by getting the fastest lap. Was that a bit too risky? What was that?
I think I was just pushing to try and get a bigger gap, and I just took the corner a bit too cut it a bit too much. But I don't think I got any other warnings, so I wasn't too fussed about that.
Okay, relatively easy so far. And then obviously the last minute safety car happened. It was a scramble in the pit lane for a few drivers. You didn't pit though, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. So how was driving those older tyres against the others of like Millsy on mediums, and you had Mighty on the hards? Obviously, those two hitting each other probably helped a little bit.
Yeah, the tyres didn't feel too bad, to be honest, but they were quite fast off the restart, and then I think, as I heard, they made contact, and I caught up to them, and I just managed to get past, and the gap was zero point 0.4 on the last straight, and it didn't manage to catch up.
No, it did get tight in the end though. Did you feel the pressure from behind, or did you just think that last lap was just got to get to the end, not think about the yellow flags or anything like that? Because you did have a yellow flag at one point with Dano spinning.
I didn't know about that. I was about midway through the lap when I realised it was the last lap, and I just had pushed as hard as I could to try and keep it, and I managed to.
Yeah, it was very well done in the end. With this being the case, you do now put yourself in the championship hunt after all this time. You're finally in it.
Yeah, I'm quite happy about that. I think Jay Clate's spinning out and crashing probably helped me do that quite a lot, but
Yeah,
hopefully I can try and fight for the championship now.
you're definitely within um a 6 point radius, maybe 7, 8 points, but that's still a massive jump from being how many you were a couple races ago. I mean, we're talking you joined the season late type thing. You weren't even here for that long ago.
Yeah, I don't think I was a full-time driver at the start of the season, was I?
No,
I don't
no,
really
no.
know.
I mean, looking
Yeah,
back on
but
this, you were like 60 points behind at at round 6. So it's just been
yeah, I'm
consistency since.
very happy about that. I try and do whatever it takes to keep it up.
And then also then Australia. Any confidence going on for that as well?
Yeah, I think I'm quite good round there, so hopefully I'll be able to get back on the podium again. Try not to get another drive through.
Yeah, well, hopefully it works out a little bit more easier for yourself. But
Yeah,
as from
hopefully
my
it's just
POV, I hope
pole
it's a
and
bit
win.
more difficult. Yeah, no, I hope it's a bit more difficult than that. Can't just have you running away from this championship for continuing to join late. I mean, who do you think you are? You just can't come along and just win it all. But nah, fair play tonight. Definitely worth a shout out for that, from being pretty much last at one point to then coming back through the field in good fashion as well. Jixer couldn't manage it, but you could. That was the difference.
Yeah.
Any shout outs?
Probably to my number one fan, Haribo, and Jixer as well, who was driving a pretty good race, got that penalty unfortunately, and that drive through. But yeah,
About Matt. Matt also said you were going to win.
did he? Oh, Matt as well then.
There you go,
Thanks, Matt.
Matty1929. I got you a shout out. But yeah, no, very good performance from both of you drivers tonight. I don't know why Millsy hasn't joined the party. He's slacking. He put Waffle in the chat, but he ain't joined to Waffle himself. So, oh, that's interesting noise, isn't it? I don't know why my headset did that. Doesn't like me tonight. Evil, any last words?
No, just congratulations on the podium winners. Very entertaining race. Thank you all.
Yes, it has definitely been entertaining. That is one for sure. Thank you for joining us tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we'll see you again next week for the USA Grand Prix. But until then, keep yourself safe, and we'll see you again.